This episode of the WP Builds podcast is brought to you today by Omnisend, the top-rated email and SMS marketing platform for WordPress. More than 100,000 merchants use Omnisend every day to grow their audience and sales. Ready to start building campaigns that really sell? Find out more at www.omnisend.com. And by GoDaddy Pro, the home of managed WordPress hosting that includes free domain, SSL, and 24/7 support. Bundle that with the Hub by GoDaddy Pro to unlock more free benefits to manage multiple sites in one place, invoice clients, and get 30% off new purchases. You can find out more at go.me/WP Builds. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Very nice to join you again, Leo. How's it going?
Very good. Thanks, Nathan. Nice to meet you again.
Yeah, just before Christmas, we're dropping in the 4th episode of the 5-part episode series, all about Gato GraphQL, which is
This is my
Leo's.
gift. Ho, 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 ho.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
I'm sorry, guys, that this is all I can give you.
it's okay. You've given more than enough with your fabulous plugin. We're going to show what it can do today. We're going to be talking about updating content in bulk and automating tasks. We'll be back in the new year for the final episode. But for today, if you're joining us live, great. You feel free to make a comment if you want to do that. Best place to do that is to head to wpbuilds.com/live. And over there, you can use YouTube comments. You need to be logged into Google. Or if you click the little live chat widget, which is inside the video, you can see the comments from all the platforms, if any, come in. So wpbuilds.com/live. And if you're in Facebook, go to that link, wave.video/lives/Facebook. If you've got any questions or anything like that, please do drop them in. Otherwise, should we get stuck into it, Leo? We're doing a slightly shorter one today because there's less to say in this particular topic, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Shall I share the
Okay.
screen?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, great. So actually, I need to show something. Well, one of the reasons why I have less to show is because I didn't manage to finish something that I can demonstrate. I have it on development, and I was kind of confident that it will be ready by today, but you know how development is. So I'm
Yeah.
going just to show the screen from my development computer. This is all you will see. So this is for. I'm not going to even run it because actually it's not even working. But because actually today one of the topics was automation, and just to explain, actually, I will explain a bit what is the idea here. You have a GraphQL query. You run the query. It does something. You can update the post. You can send an email, notify your users of something, whatever it is. It's like a task. It's like a code snippet of sorts, right? That you have these plugins, code snippets that you can
Yep.
add some PHP code, and then you run the task, whatever it is. It's like very useful for these very tiny tasks that you don't want to have like a dedicated plugin, right? So then, what happens if you start chaining the execution of these code snippets, right? Then you can automate tasks. You could say, for instance, when there's a new post, execute this snippet, which is send an email to the user. So you can do exactly the same with Gato GraphQL. The idea will be, instead of having a code snippet with PHP code, you have a GraphQL query. So the idea is, once again, you have an event happening. There's a new post. And in this case, what you do is to execute. So this is how it will look like in the future once it is ready, right? But you will have the list of all of the persistent queries that we have created. Basically, they're like queries that we have stored on our WordPress site. This is once again similar to the code snippets plugins. Instead of storing PHP code, like bits of PHP code that execute something, you store a GraphQL query that executes a task. So, I mean, I have like all of this bunch here, add missing links, add a mandatory comments block, duplicate post, and so on and so forth. And you can select when to trigger it here based on the hook, right?
Right.
And then you pass the parameters here. Basically, the GraphQL query will need to receive the post ID. And the way that I do this is by passing this JSON. This is the variable from GraphQL post ID, and this is the argument that is coming from the hook. And then it will be possible to chain different queries. So I will be able to say, and when this query is finished, execute another one. I don't know if I can show this, but basically,
I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then you're creating a chain, right? I mean, and here the trigger in this moment I have only the hook, but here I will have another trigger, which basically says this previous task, and then you execute another one. So the idea with this is, I mean, one example that I have in my head that I really want to implement, right? We saw one of the previous episodes to translate content that it connects to the Google Translate API. It translates the blog post.
Yes.
And then we also saw that it's possible to synchronize content, that you have another server and you can export you export a post to that other WordPress site. So now we can combine them. We can say
Nice.
whenever there is a new post, first task translate it, second task export it to this other site. So then you can have a multi-site with all the different languages, and it's all automated. When you create a new post, automatically creates the new post on the multi-site site with the translation already translated to the language.
Yeah, that's
Um,
neat. That's really, really
yeah,
neat.
and
And
I wanted,
so
yeah,
each
sorry,
of the if you stack them, it would wait for the previous task to finish. There'd be some signal to say that one's done. Okay, now move on to the next one, and then when that one's done, we move on to the next one, and
yeah,
so on and so forth. Oh,
yeah, and
that's cool.
I wanted to show you that, but
But I like
sorry,
the just as a total aside. So this is all built in the block editor. You're going to create these automations in the block editor, and it kind of just the first thing that jumps into my head is it reminds me of Zapier or Zapier, depending on how you
yeah,
pronounce it. So
absolutely,
you set a
absolutely,
trigger on the left, and then
yeah,
what's to happen on the right, and you can
yes.
set multiple things to happen based
Yeah,
upon each trigger. And yeah,
yeah.
okay,
I
yeah,
will tell you more. I'll tell you more, Nathan. Actually, my inspiration for this was there are these automator plugins, right? You have
yeah, yep,
Uncanny Automator
that's right, yep.
and Automator WP. You have three or even four, like And I remember I was actually on a group like WordPress group, some group on Facebook, and one person was asking, how do you get to customize that detail? When the automator, you have everything is predefined for you. So there's a task there, and you need to select that task, and then the options you have to select everything. What happens if the option that you need is not there?
Yeah, 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 you gotta build it.
So you have two options. You have to check if they have a hook, and then you have to upload PHP code and it defeats the purpose. Or you have to call the developer from this
Yeah,
plugin and ask them to add support for that feature. And it's actually it could be quite annoying because one of the things that you can do with these automator plugins is that you can interact with external services, right? You can post to Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, Mailchimp, whatever it is. So what happens if you have predefined the services that you want to interact, but now there is a new service that nobody knows of. It's not
right.
popular. It's in my country that nobody uses. I mean, it's very tiny, and so the option is not there. What do you do? And when I read that, I was like, I can do that. So once again, the cool thing about this is that this is a GraphQL query. So let's go back to. Oh, I have to. I'll create. Okay, so go back to the beginning. Gato
Yeah,
GraphQL.
okay, yeah.
This is the website, and if you go all the way down here, it says play with Gato GraphQL in a testing site. So I'm going to open this, and I'm going to launch a demo, and this is what I'm going to use for the demo. So
And we're gonna pray it works this time. We had
yeah.
issues on a previous one, but it's looking good. It's already nearly
Otherwise,
complete. Yeah.
Big Cass is going to change me.
That's right, yeah. Oh, bless him. It's a stellar service. It doesn't normally fail.
No, it always somehow that day, but yeah, otherwise it's really good.
The technology it
Uh,
was because you were doing a live demo. That's how it works, Leo. That's how the
yeah,
universe works. Do it 1,000 times Without a live
Yeah.
demo, perfect. Live demo, no.
Should stop doing demos. So only next time, Nathan, I just have a PowerPoint. Okay, so
Okay, here
persistent.
we are.
So
Here we are.
yeah, so here we are. So there's a bunch of persistent queries, which are GraphQL queries, which are stored on the site. So here there is one that is called duplicate post. We had already. I'm going to uh, show this again. We had seen this the previous time, uh, but let's do it again.
It's good. It's good to repeat things sometimes.
I'm going to duplicate a post. Let's just say one. This is the hello world
Hello
one.
world post. Yep,
So I click here. Now
there it
if we
is.
go here, so here it has the new one that have been duplicated, right?
Yep.
But now you can edit this GraphQL query. So here, for instance, when it is okay, let's see how it works a tiny bit. This is a query, and what it does is to retrieve a post by ID, and this is the variable that we pass here. Post ID one.
Mhm.
So it is basically selecting the post one, which is that one hello world, and it fetches all of this data that indicate ID, slash, date, status. That is everything that is showing here. The author, and I'm exporting this data, the categories, and I'm exporting this data, the content, excerpt, feature image, tags, and the title, and I'm exporting this data. And then I grab this, the title, the tag IDs, the feature image ID, and I create a new post with
Yep.
this is with a mutation, right? So I export the data from any post and I create a new post. It's quite simple, and there's no possibility of anything going wrong in a way. This is not like PHP that you can create an error and then you have like a 500 error, then the website doesn't load anymore. Like if it fails, like if I do something wrong here, for instance, let's do this. This doesn't make it. Oh well, actually no, sorry. This will just fail. If I do this, it just says incorrect syntax, but nothing fails, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we can customize this. So for instance, one thing that I can do is instead of draft, let's just do it, oh well, whatever, pending.
Yeah. Okay. So now it'll
And now
create a
I run this
duplicate, but it'll
again.
be set to pending. Got it.
And now
There it
it can,
is.
or I can modify the type. So then I can say attach, well, append another string.
So something else.
Yeah,
Copied post.
duplicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what did I do? Oh,
There you go. There. Duplicate.
what am I doing?
There
So
you go.
I'm demonstrating that nothing can go wrong basically by
Well, no, it didn't go wrong. It was user error. That's fine.
okay.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So then we were talking about the automator plugins. What happens if you need to send a ping to a new service in town? No problem. You edit the GraphQL query and then you add the URL of the new service and then you pass the whatever it is that you need to pass under the body or a parameter,
Yeah.
and you got it running. So actually
So you can really build anything that you like. Your imagination is the limit. You don't need to contact the developer. You just need to amend the query.
as long as the plugin supports that. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
we were talking about this on day one, I think. How much support that is. Oh no, sorry, this was on the podcast. We on the podcast on the audio podcast that we did.
Yep. Yep.
I was mentioning I don't have support for ACF yet.
But you
I
will,
mean,
maybe at some point.
at
Maybe.
some point,
Who
so
knows?
if you need that, and people ask me, so I need that, and I'm like, sorry, you had to wait. So the thing is, as long as you have a field, like just now, okay, let's go back to the query. So this field called post, I had to program that. That is the Gato GraphQL plugin is already resolving the post. That's why it works. But you cannot do product. for
Okay.
WooCommerce.
Yep. You'd have to do
Because
that yourself. Write that yourself somewhere.
so yeah, I mean, if people want to do it themselves, they can. This is supposed to be the next episode, but that is no, no. I just mentioned this. I'm not going to go.
Okay.
So here there is an extension starter. Basically, it's a GitHub project that is a template that allows you to create extensions for Gato GraphQL.
Got it. Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah, we will see this actually in the next episode
Okay.
because I think it's quite cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get
Yeah. Get lost in
yeah,
the weeds there. Okay.
yeah. So okay, then we were on the automation thing. If something doesn't is not there, you just adjust the graphical query and then you're good to go. Uh okay.
Sorry, I'm having a coughing fit over here. I'm just putting myself on mute for a moment. Okay.
Okay. So and then we have all of these. Oh, so then there goes the part of automation. That's the first part, which is to create an automator sort of plugin that you can actually do with Gato GraphQL. The second thing that you can do is to use cron, WP cron.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I'm going to show you the documentation on the website for this, and maybe we can do it, but it will not work because this testing site does not send emails, and I
Oh,
want
okay.
to
Right, right,
yeah.
right.
And because basically, what do you do with cron, right? I mean, say you have to do a task every 24 hours. So one example is okay, send a summary of the number of comments you have got in the site, whatever. So we will actually do everything, even though I will not show you the final email
Yeah,
because
there
it's
won't
not
be a
coming out.
final email. Yeah, yeah. But trust us, it'll work.
Yeah. So in the site here there is a link called tutorial, and here it says sending a daily summary of activity. So here it gives me one GraphQL query. I will just copy this. I will create a persistent query with this.
Okay. And we went into those on a previous episode. These are things that you can just reuse over and over and over again.
Yes.
Yep.
So we add a new GraphQL persistent query. I just paste this. Let's just also copy the tile. Oh, daily stats by email number of comments. I want to do copy paste, so I'll just call it that.
Okay.
Daily stats by what?
Email
Email
number of
number of
comments.
comments. Oh, by
By
email
email, number of comments.
number of comments. Okay,
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Schema configuration. I know I need the nested mutation, so I will publish this. So having the slug, then I can go uh, to WP cron like this with PHP code, and basically what this will do is, I mean, you say so you are scheduling the event starting from now. You execute it daily, and you execute this hook, the name, and with this information, daily stats by email number of comments. That this is the slug of the
Yep.
query,
Yep.
and then you pass the variables that you need that the GraphQL query requires. It has like the two variables, so then you provide here the information, right? And we can also do it. I mean, we can actually do it with WP control. We can install it now, or you can just trust me. I can just show you this.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, it's
Yeah,
up to you, but yeah, I
yeah.
trust you.
No, because I cannot. Yeah, because the email is not being sent.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, actually, look, I'll show you this. If I run this,
You can see what's output right there.
yeah.
And
Oh,
we
I haven't.
okay.
I need to say the two. Two. Nah, but you will not get this email.
No.
Okay, so I supposedly send this. So here,
There we go.
what this query is doing is getting information from the site, the time today, time yesterday, and then it calculates the comments added in the last 24 hours, in the last 1 year, since beginning of this month and since beginning of this year. And then I use Markdown to compose the content of the email, and this will be transformed to HTML. This is the response.
Yeah, I see it. There it is.
Yes.
That's
And it will then send an email. But this is the thing that is not working. It says
yeah, yeah.
status failure because, yeah, because this is testing side with InstaWP, cannot send emails. But in any way, this send email is connected to the WP mail function.
Yeah, that's
Is it?
right. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it just works out of the box normally. So then when you add this information in WP cron, well, it will basically send an email every day with whatever it is that the query is producing, right? Like the query is producing the number of comments on the site, and that's what it sends you by email.
So
So I mean,
it's another way of getting it to be triggered. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, this is automation. What do you need to do? What do you need to run, right? I mean, every day you need to do something. If it is possible to do it with GraphQL, if it is data centric, that is something that depends on data, like post information, users information, number of new users that you got, revenue that you got, or yeah, products that you have sold on the day or on the last 2 weeks, on the last month, and you want to do something with this, or you want to ping, maybe you want at the end of the day ping another site with some content that you have on your site. For this is just perfect.
Nice. But when you obviously hoped to have that built at some point, but yeah, I guess you're waiting until the new year now before you ship that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And actually, okay, so I think I told you the previous time my plugin got approved for the
Oh,
directory, but I have not been working on this yet because I still need to do a few things before I can launch it. And I was thinking I need to finish this before the yeah, this episode today. So I was working on this, and at some point I was like, I'm not going to finish it. I'm not.
yeah, you knew.
So since I haven't finished it anyway, now this is going to take the back seat, and I will work now on launching the plugin on the
Get the
WP
plugin. Okay.
directory.
Okay.
Yeah, I think by beginning of next year, that will be my new year wish. Like a good way to start the year is with the plugin out there.
That's great. That's perfect. So we know it's coming, and I think given your track record, we know it'll work and it'll do everything. And we've got some kind of intuition of how it'll work and everything. So it's going to be like a Zapier type experience. You
Yeah,
plug things into the Gutenberg block editor and set triggers, set tasks to be performed based upon those triggers, and you're off to the races. And as with everything inside your plugin, really, the only limitation is what you can conceive. You
yeah,
built so much stuff into there. So the
yeah,
example there that you just gave, sending an email is like 1 trillionth of what would be possible.
yeah,
You just need
yeah.
to get your
Even
head
though
in the game.
I don't want to create false expectations. They have the functionality from Zapier, but it doesn't have the user experience. All of those systems are
Yeah,
nice. They are easy to use, right? You drag and drop, select this. Mine is not like that. Mine is more, it's a bit more technical. And even talking about GraphQL, it's a bit of, something that people are a bit scared about because it's a new domain, right?
yeah.
I completely understand. So I'm not trying to create false expectations. Basically, what this is it's like Zapier, but for developers of
Yeah,
sorts.
that's right. That's a really good way of thinking about it, isn't it? Is that you need a certain technical level of expertise in order to make it work. But it kind of feels to me that you don't need to be that technical. Once you've got your head around how the syntax
Yeah.
works, you just have to repeat all of that over
Yes.
and over again. But yeah,
Oh,
bringing
yes.
in
And let me since we're talking about this, let me show you something that I have done. That
oh,
this is actually new. I created a new section called the queries library.
oh, nice.
Yes. So what is this? This is right now there are 50, but to be honest, I have like 20 or 25 more that I need to upload, and then I have ideas for 50 more easy.
Yeah, yeah,
So this is the GraphQL query that solves a given problem. So for instance, this one is called add a mandatory comments block to a post. Oh, let's do this one actually. This is going to be fun. This actually also I could have shown you with automation, but unfortunately, as I said, I don't have it ready yet. But let's do it manually. So you go to this query library, and here it says, what is the problem? You want to add a mandatory comments block to a post. So say that you have, the comments now using Gutenberg are also a block. What
Yeah.
happens if you forget to add it,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah. So this is gonna force it to have you can't publish it until you've put the block in, or it's gonna add the block whether you like it or not. Here we
So
go.
what this is going to do when I run it is I will check. Okay, let's see the query a tiny bit.
Yeah.
It selects, uh, it checks if the if the block, if the post that we indicate has the WP comments ending tag, which means
Oh,
does it have
okay.
the comments block or
Oh,
not.
that's a neat way of doing it. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So based on that, I can tell if the post has that block or if it doesn't have it. If it if it has it, if it doesn't have it, like,
Doesn't have it. Yep. Yep.
yeah, skip. If it has it already, then you skip this. It doesn't do this. Otherwise, what it does is it uh, fetches the content of the post, and it appends
Oh, right. Right. So it
the
repeats the entire post and then adds the block in it afterwards.
exactly,
Neat.
and then you update it. So let's actually run this.
So it'll bring
Uh,
all of your other blocks that you might happen to have dropped in. So if you've got a YouTube, because it's just taking the raw content of everything that was
Anything,
anything,
and what
anything. Yeah.
and actually, this is both a feature and a bug. Uh, Look at this. This is not nice in a way that you have to input all of this
All of those. Yeah.
in
There's
the
a lot.
GraphQL query. Why is it not nice? Because what happens if the block in the future is updated? If
Yeah.
the like WordPress core, they decide, to modify it, and then this code is not valid anymore. Then you're stuck with this code in the query. So that's why I call this a bug. But two things. First is it's a feature because, as I was mentioning recently with automation, you have absolute control on what you want to add and how. This is just pure code, pure content that you append. You can do also search and replace. One of the other persistent queries that I had there is that you can add a block for a call to action, like a call to action block for some campaign like
Uh
Black
huh.
Friday, and you can insert it in the middle of the post, or
Oh,
maybe
neat.
after
Yep.
the third paragraph. What I can do is I can count the blocks, and I identify the third one, and then I insert,
Yep. Yep.
and then I add anything else that came after.
Like perfect for putting ads in or something like that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect for like a campaign that is like, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then I also give the query. I think it should be around here, uh, somewhere there, but CTA. Why it's one of these.
Yeah. It's
And
okay. I get it.
then the query to remove it after the campaign. Once again, and this in bulk. You give the name of the block, and it goes through the content, and when it can identify the beginning and the end tag for that block name, and it just removes that block.
Oh, of course, because it's not inserting it dynamically, it's rewriting the post. So I get it. Okay. So you
Yeah.
have to take them out manually as well, or,
Yes.
in an automatic manual
Yeah.
kind of way. Yeah. Right. Right.
And then concerning this ugly code, and as you can see, I'm very honest. I'm talking to you as a user myself. When I do the things, I don't want to have to use this. What I'm going to do that I also couldn't finish on time, I will do it like soon. I'm going to create a custom post type called content template that you have basically blocks that you need to like in this case, like the comments block. So then you can fetch the content inside that CPT. Okay, I think I'm all
No,
over
I
the
think I
place.
understand. So it's like you're gonna put in a range of the blocks that you typically use, and you know that the code for those is gonna be consistent in the future because you
Yes,
made it, so you can drag
it's
it
on the
in from
WordPress
there.
editor. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
if the block gets updated, it gets updated also
Right.
on the post.
Yep.
And because I'm dynamically fetching the content from that post with that new content post type, then it will be always up to date. Then this
So
problem doesn't happen ananymore.
it's a bit like a PHP template, but built inside the block
Yes.
editor, Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Actually,
okay.
the other use case that is the one I was really thinking of. Actually, there are two. One is to import posts. So I have the functionality. Is also one of these import posts from CSV. Um, Okay, well, here I have an Excel file, and it retrieves the title, the excerpt, the content, and the author. But what happens if you have an Excel file that the columns are not mapped one to one? It's like you have the content that is scattered among different columns. You have an image, another image, image one, image two, image three, and then you want
Yeah.
to have one after the other, right?
Hmm.
So then with this content post type, you will have the the final post as it will look like with variables image one, image two, image three.
Got it. Yep.
Then I retrieve this content and I do a search and replace where it says image one, insert this URL the from the Excel file. Where it says image two, insert this other URL and then save the post.
Got it.
So yeah. So all of
It's
this is all,
complicated.
all,
Yeah,
all of this is
but
all work in
good
progress.
fun. Lovely.
Yeah. So let's go back to this.
Where were we? Yeah, that was it.
We,
Add the comments block to the post.
yeah. So we will add
Add a new query,
the query.
persisted query, call it something. Chuck the query in.
Here we go. Okay. So this one I think needs nested mutations.
Okay, publish it.
Okay, so let's open once again. Hello world. Here it is. So this one doesn't have the
Yep.
comments block, right?
Yep.
So now we run that. Post ID one.
Run it.
I update here, and now it has
No kidding.
the
Look at that. That's great. So you could do that with any number of posts. You could just go through the entire
yes,
roster
yes,
of your 100, 200 posts, whatever you've got on your website, and it'll do the
yeah,
same thing over and over and over again.
yeah.
Got it.
And this once again you can automate it. So the idea is
Yes, of course. Yeah. Every 25th
when
of December, take the Christmas ads away. Yeah.
yeah, no, what I'm thinking like this particular use case, right? When you hit publish and you
Yep.
forgot that mandatory block, then this guy can insert it for you.
Yep. That's really cool. I mean, obviously, you've just shown an example which you may or may not want, but imagine the possibilities of being able to insert that, modify content that you've already got without having to go through it one at a
Yeah.
time,
Yeah,
over and
absolutely.
over again. Oh, I've got a really interesting use for that actually, because I'm currently thinking about swapping my podcast service that I host my podcast with, and I've got about 618 audio files, and I need to go through every post and substitute the URL of the audio file
Uh,
618 times.
I
That's
I I I got you covered.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly, yeah. So I would do exactly this. I'd go and find the post. I would then have to retrieve. Yeah, I'd have to go in, locate the block that was in use, and then substitute out the MP3 file for the new MP3 file, and six.
yeah.
That could save me a lot of time.
Yeah,
Nice.
so here you have this, replace the old domain with a new domain.
Oh,
So what this one does is we can actually run this one. Uh, it
that's
searches
probably not what I'm after, but it's okay.
no, but yeah, no, but what you want is to
Oh,
replace
it
the U
is. No, you're
no, you
right.
yeah. You want to replace one URL. The example that I have is with domain, but I could actually do that one, the one with
Oh,
the
so
URL.
because the URLs won't map in any way, shape, or form. They're just it says, I don't know, podcasthost1.com / loads of rubbish
Yeah.
.mp3, and then the other one would be,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not exactly the same query, but it's similar. I have
similar.
another
Yeah.
one here called replace an old post slug with a new post slug. So what this does is, I mean, when I created this query, right? You have hello world, now it's called bye bye Mars. Uh, it, it creates a it creates a URL. Here it takes the URL from the database and it appends the slug to the URL. And so basically it's
Yeah.
calculating what is the old URL and the new URL. And then this part you don't need, okay? But then you have this mutation, replace all with new URLs in posts. So you select all the posts which contain the old post URL. So in your case, it will be the URL for the audio uh, the file or
Yeah, yeah, the
the series, right?
.mp3 file. Yep, yep.
Yeah. And then you get the content and you replace the old URL with the new URL and you store and you save it again. And and you can do this also passing a dictionary with a lot of different variables, and then it does one by one, one like it does all of them, right? Like you can have I have another recipe for that. But yeah, basically is how it is. Actually, we can see that a tiny bit. Let's go back here. Persist the queries. Replace. Okay, regex. Let's do this one.
Ah,
Regex replace strings in posts. So we can do a search. What do we want to search? Let's
hmm.
make it easy here. Hello world, but maybe we do this.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, that will not work. Like here,
that.
replace with by
Bye-bye, Mars.
Mars.
So
Um,
anything that starts hello and then a letter of the alphabet, old, will be replaced by bye-bye, Mars. So we're hoping that hello world gets found.
okay, so let's see if it went fine. This is
Okay,
hello
there's
world.
obvious places we'll be able to see it there.
Perfect. Okay,
No,
this.
no, look at that. That works at the treat. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I see
Oh,
it.
and actually, yeah. So these ones are not published, but let's see actually.
Oh, that's
Uh,
interesting. Because they weren't published, it didn't. Okay, okay.
yeah, because I'm not selecting them.
Yeah,
Uh, oh, but I need to select them here.
yeah. Where would that be?
Filter, status, any.
Any. There you
I
go.
think if I
Let's
do
see if it
this,
works. If it doesn't work, it's no big deal. We get the idea. It's looking for published things only on the outset, and that's a good idea. Oh, maybe it's there.
okay, let's
Let's
try this.
try it. Hands, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. It's doing things. It's thinking. It's not failed.
Yay! Do you see?
Look at that. That's
Oh,
so great. Okay, so in my example, it really does look like that your solution might be able to help me out there a lot. I'd be wanting to probably chuck it from a spreadsheet as well. So that it was when you
mm,
said spreadsheet that my intuition kind of jumped in because I was thinking I can probably download the new URLs and the old URLs onto a spreadsheet because I can't think of any other way the podcast company that hosts those files would allow me to get to them. So it feels like a spreadsheet would be the best way to do that, and then go
mhm.
from there. All righty, you see, Leo, I've found a use for it. And you said there'd only be 10 minutes of content in here. We're on minute 40 already.
I'm talking more than I will do otherwise. To be honest, blah 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 blah.
No, it's great. It's great. Do you feel like you've done that subject justice? Is there more you want to add, or do we?
No, I think this is actually quite good. I felt a bit bad that I couldn't show the automation
No, we
thing,
get
but
the idea. We
yeah,
understand. I think anybody looking at that will get the idea that in the new year, in 2024, at some point, you'll have a
yeah,
Zapier-like developer-y experience where you'll be able to set all of those bits and pieces up. Okay, if that's the case, we'll knock it on the head. We'll stop sharing the screen. And Leo, thanks for joining us again. We'll be back in the new year. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it might be the 10th of March. Sorry, 10th of January, something like that. For the fifth and final episode of the GraphQL series, Gato GraphQL. And as Leo suggested, he's going to be extending what the GraphQL schema is able to do. So we will see there. Oh, quickly though, Atif has just raised a question. Do you mind answering that?
yeah, sure.
Okay, let's put it up there. He says, can I ask a question? Not to undermine anything you're showing us, it's all great, but any benefit using this over something like WP query, or is this a random example?
Oh, WP query, but WP query is code, right? I mean, you have to deploy PHP code. You have to code it on your plugin or a theme. This, you don't. You go to the WP admin and you create a query on the spot, and then you publish it. So they no need to actually create any code. So that is one thing. So it is way more convenient. In 5 minutes, you can have your task going. Uh, and the other thing is no. Clearly, what my plugin does is to call WP query on the backend. So I'm not adding anything new. All I'm doing is adding another layer to be able to interact with WP query from the client, from the WP admin.
I don't know, Atif, if you managed to see any of the previous episodes, but I'll if you go to now, let me think, let me make sure this is true. Da, da, da. Let's have a quick look. Webinars. Da, 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 da. I'm just trying to find the bits and pieces. Yeah, if you go here, wpbuilds.com/demos-archive, modeled in with a variety of different webinars from different people, will be the previous 3 episodes that I did with Leo, and probably go for episode 1, and you'll be able to see how the bits and pieces are all built up, and that may give you more of an intuition as to how it works. But thanks for your question. Anyway, appreciate it. Okay, if that's the case, I'll just wish you, Leo, a happy New Year and Christmas, if that's your thing, if you do that. If not, I will just say, well, see you later, and I'll see you in the new year. Thanks so much. Oh, quickly, he says he hasn't seen the episodes, just saw this and jumped in. Yeah, check it out, and you'll probably get a real understanding of how that works. So, Leo, for 2023, thanks for joining me so many times, and I will see you in 2024.
Yeah, thanks so much and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you so much.